All right, guys, so we got to talk about some disturbing trends that just keep on going on during this pandemic, right? The disturbing trend of censorship when it comes to science or opinions surrounding the science, right? And this comes as Dr. Robert Malone was suspended from Twitter, okay? And he was suspended because he said some things that the scientific community didn't necessarily like. Okay, now here's the thing. This guy is not some whack job, right, that came out of nowhere with a sketchy MD that is making up all types of stuff, right? This guy actually was a key contributor to the creation of the mRNA vaccines. And you would think that during a time like this, okay, that people would kind of at least consider what this guy has to say about some stuff, right? But apparently, if you say something that is not the scientific consensus, right? Even if you are a reputable scientist / doctor that has taken a vaccine and has considerable expertise in this area. Now, again, you know, the counter argument here to what Dr. Malone was claiming is that, hey, you know, some of the things he's saying is wrong, right? It's incorrect, it's misinformation. He's not interpreting the data correctly. The data clearly shows that what he's saying isn't necessarily true. That is what the opposition to his statements are saying, okay? That's what they're saying. And here's the thing, right? I mean, if that's true, then, hey, you know what? Maybe it should be debated in public, right? People can have a conversation about it and then let, again, the people come to a reasonable conclusion about what they believe is true, right? That is the essence of what science is supposed to be, but not in 2021, right? In 2021, if you say something, right, even if you are a scientist, even if you have expertise in this field, hey, if it's not in line with what everybody else is saying, then you have to be silenced, okay? And big tech, particularly Twitter in this situation right here, is guilty of going along with this type of smearing and censorship that throughout history has been so dangerous because, again, guys, science evolves over time, right? Today's facts are tomorrow's myths. Today's myths are tomorrow's facts because we learn more information over time. And that is okay, right? That's how it's supposed to be. I have no idea whose claims are true and whose claims are not true. What I'm saying is that I just find it disturbing that people are being censored simply for stating a different opinion, even if you have legitimate expertise in this field. And this is not just being done by big tech. We also have the government that is in on this type of censorship, as there was a recent story that came out about how Dr. Fauci and the director of the NIH, Francis Collins, colluded to basically shut down 3 other scientists who were basically proposing an alternative strategy for handling COVID outside of just lockdowns, right? They wanted a more focused approach to the COVID-19 public health policies, right? For example, they wanted to focus more on protecting high-risk groups, right? And individuals that, again, are particularly at a higher risk when it comes to this virus, and basically letting everybody else who are not so high risk live their lives, okay? And this came after the Great Barrington Declaration, which essentially is a statement by these 3 scientists, one at Harvard, one at Oxford, and one at Stanford. Again, these are universities that are pretty prestigious, right? The top universities in the world. But this statement, the Great Barrington Declaration, was signed by thousands of scientists, in which they're basically agreeing with the idea that, hey, you know what, you know, some of these policies, right, these public health policies, we don't necessarily agree with this stuff, right? We got questions about this, okay? So, lockdown happy, Fauci and director Francis Collins did not like this. They didn't like this, as they went out to smear these scientists and to execute a devastating and quick takedown of these guys because, you know, they didn't like their opinions, right? And this is shown in some email leaks that basically shows the discussion and the back and forth between Fauci and Collins regarding trying to discredit and smear these scientists out in the mainstream media. For example, one of the most damning emails from Francis Collins to Anthony Fauci reads, quote, "Hi, Tony and Cliff, see blank.org. This proposal from the three fringe epidemiologists, right? Fringe, okay? Harvard, Stanford, Oxford. Fringe epidemiologists, according to this guy, okay? If those guys are fringe, then what scientist is legitimate, right? Those sanctioned by the government, they're the only legitimate ones. This is how the smear campaign works, guys. You're fringe, right? If you disagree with us, regardless of your pedigree, regardless if you're from distinguished Ivy League, world-renowned universities, you're fringe if you disagree, okay? This proposal from the three fringe epidemiologists who met with the secretary seems to be getting a lot of attention, and even co-signed from Nobel Prize winner Mike Leavitt at Stanford. There needs to be a quick and devastating published takedown of its premises. I don't see anything like that online yet. Is it underway, Francis? All right, so I want you guys to understand what's going on here, right? These are government officials basically saying, hey, these fringe scientists from Stanford, Harvard, and Oxford, they're saying some things that we don't like, right? They're putting some things out there that we don't necessarily agree with. So what we have to do is that we have to try to get stories out there in the mainstream media, right? In this case, The Wire, The Washington Post, and some other websites that debunk this stuff, right? That debunk these theories and the things that these people are pushing, right? We got to do it before it gets out there and for too many people to start actually taking them seriously, okay? And they go in subsequent emails to basically show off, the articles that have been posted and, the things that, people that they agree with have put out there in the mainstream media that supposedly debunks the things that these other scientists were saying that they don't agree with. So I want you guys to understand what's going on here. You have big tech censoring a scientist, right, who is a legitimate scientist, who has, contributed heavily to vaccines and stuff like that. Now, he's saying some things that is against the scientific consensus. Now, again, instead of letting the free flow of information happen, right, letting him say what he got to say and then disputing what he has to say, right, with the science, if he's wrong, okay, instead of just letting the battle of ideas take place, no, we got to censor this guy, right? We got to silence him. It's happening from big tech. Big tech that controls a whole lot of information that is presented to the public. And then you also have the government officials who are also in private emails devising ways to smear and discredit scientists who are from world-renowned universities that disagree with them in regards to their COVID lockdown policies, right? That want to take a different approach and say, hey, you know what, maybe we should think about doing something else. No. Those guys are fringe, right? We have to discredit them, okay? We have to damage their reputation so that people don't believe them, right? This is the type of stuff, guys, that in my opinion is scary, and it leads to more mistrust in the scientific community, right? If, mainstream media and big tech and all these people in the government, they're so concerned about misinformation, I really can't tell, because they're the ones that are actually contributing to people being misinformed and being skeptical of authority, right? Because they're not being transparent, okay, about certain information. When you are actively censoring information and telling the public that certain information is off limits, right, in a world where science is constantly evolving, when we're, studying this virus, we're learning new things about this virus every single day, and the next few months or so, next year or so, things that we told were facts are now not necessarily true. And again, this is happening while you're actively censoring information, okay? Yeah, people are going to look at you and say, hey, you know what? I'm not necessarily sure if I trust these guys, right? I'm not necessarily sure if these guys have my best interest at heart, okay? This is the problem, right? These same people want to talk about democracy being an attack. Well, again, I can't tell that you care, because this right here is the biggest threat to democracy. Censoring information that doesn't go along with scientific consensus is a threat to democracy. because it creates mistrust in the government. It creates mistrust in our institutions. It creates mistrust in the scientific process, right? That's what happens. But yet, despite this, they continue to engage in this campaign that, in my opinion, is not conducive to what they claim they want, right? It's almost like they just don't want any dissenting opinions or debate. If the data is on your side, if the facts and evidence is on your side, why are you not open for debate, right? Why are you not open to conversation with those who disagree? Let the data and the facts prevail. That's all you have to do if the data and the facts is really on your side. But again, people have questions about that when you don't even want to come to the table to have a conversation or a debate. When you silence anybody that disagrees with you in regards to what you believe the scientific consensus is. Again, this is the problem. This is the issue. This is what has created so much mistrust in mainstream media and our government. But hey, it is what it is. I just found, these emails and this situation going on with Twitter and this censorship to be, again, fascinating stuff that, again, is not working out in the best interest of what these people claim that they want, right? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.